Ready?
Right.
Go ahead.
All right. Good morning. Good afternoon, class. My name is Brandon Thomas, and today I'm going to talk about the history of the Food Network. Does anybody watch Food Network in here, or have ever watched an episode on it? All right. Well, last year, according to the USA Today report, there was a 29% increase in ratings. So over the years, it's become very popular, and I've always been intrigued by the network, and I was curious about the history of it. So today I'm going to inform the class on the history of the Food Network. CNN producer, or founding president, Reese Gunfeld, was approached by a gentleman from the Providence Journal about an idea of a network devoted strictly to the food, and he thought it was a great idea. So in the fall of 1993, the network was launched. It was highly criticized and not expected to be very successful at the beginning. In the early 90s, the model they used was called the talking head behind the stove model, where somebody would just sit here and be like, all right, pour 2 cups of milk. And it was kind of boring and really criticized, and the ratings were low. And also a lot of it was reruns from other networks. Like if someone did a segment on Good Morning America, like about how to cook something, they would rerun it right on the network. So it wasn't original work. In the late 90s, changes definitely needed to be made. In a 10-month period, there was 3 different presidents and 3 different CEOs. But then Erica Gruen was hired in 1996 as a new president and CEO. She brought a whole different outlook to the network. She thought the idea of celebrity chefs like Guy Fieri, Paula Deen. Do you all know all them people? Well, it was because of her all these people become like celebrities. And she also brought to the table game shows and a lot of different things besides just someone standing behind a counter and telling you how to make something. According to a journal article titled Vicarious Consumption, in 1996, the network launched 30 new series, 125 specials, and added 80 new advertisers. So prime time ratings tripled between 96 and 98. The network continued to transform. There were more diversified shows like The Secret Life of, if anybody knows what that is, or has anybody watched Unwrapped, where they go back into history and like see how something's made, like how cheese is made, not necessarily how to prepare a dish. So there was a lot of new different types of shows because of Erica Gruen, and the target audience went to like non-professional food cookers, so like everybody was more intrigued by the network. Their whole focus used to be just on how to cook something, and now it became all things food. So it didn't matter what it was, as long as it had food incorporated into it. According to an article titled The Essence of Cooking Shows, in 2003, average rating increased 20% to 727,000 from the previous year. So you can see the networks continue to become more popular. In recent years, the Food Network has continued its success, gaining viewership on TV and online. According to Comscore.com, Food Network had grew from 3 million users in July 2007 to 11.3 in January 2009. A lot of new age groups were becoming more interested. As I asked the class at the beginning how many people watch it, a lot of people raised their hands. So the average age, median prime age, went from 50.3 in 2003 to 45.6 in 2008. Even today, it continues to set new records. According to an article titled Food Network Scores Historic Ratings, Sign of Times, on January 5th, 2010 was the most historic night for the network. It had the most watched night in Food Network history with the premiere of Worst Cooks in America, which was the highest rated premiere ever. And an article in the New York Times reported that the network Scripps, the owner of Food Network, is getting rid of their Fine Living channel and opening up a new channel, kind of like an ESPN2 or an MTV2. They were releasing this year the Cooking channel, which will be devoted strictly to food as well. So as you can see, the network wasn't very successful at the beginning. It was highly criticized, not expected to do that well, and it was kind of boring to watch. But now with going through 3 different CEOs and 3 different presidents, they finally found the recipe for success to be the successful network that they are today. And that's it. Thank you. Any questions?
Thank you. Do we know who's next? Rachel's next. Thank you.